Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everyone. Hello to all our friends and family around our beloved planet. Welcome to Dr. Kathryn May's Blog Talk Radio program, Channel Panel. Today is Sunday, August 31st, 2014. Today's show on Sunday is our healing call and training for Ascension with Sananda. As some of you may have seen, Sananda and Kathryn gave us a brief written message this morning, inviting us to a fireside chat. So let's collect into our group consciousness with everyone on this call and everyone who will listen to the archive. Find a comfortable stump or a blanket and let's settle in for a fun discussion. This is your co-host, Meg Davis, calling in from the greater Atlanta area in Georgia, and our host, Kathryn, is calling in from her home in High Falls, New York. Hi, Kathryn.
Hi, Meg. I like that introduction. Pull up the stump. Okay. I had more in mind one of those folding chairs.
Let's add that to your most comfortable, perfect chair.
Yeah, I got a kick out of that Sananda came up with that. Call it a fireside chat, because he really liked it, that people were referring to it like that. It's the familiar chat that we have with Sananda. They're more and more delighted, it seems, with the kind of easy familiarity that we're developing. So let's see what he has in store for today. Mm-hmm. Here's what I think the program will be. We want to celebrate the information that you've already given us. We're so grateful for these talks that Meg has done the past few weeks. We now have them. You have it in written form, right?
Yeah.
Information, and that's posted. I know it's on the Facebook page.
Mm-hmm. It's the audio file on both calls, as well as the written transcript are on
Wonderful.
The Healing for Ascension Tour group files, and then also as a post on the page. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. And I've started sending them to our webmaster as well. So we're going to have a special page on our webpage. I don't know if he can do that yet, but very soon we're going to have a special page on our website that will feature these calls, the written information, so people can download it. Hopefully we'll be able to put it in ebook form, so they can just download the whole thing. So we're going to make it accessible to everybody. And if people, I think I know someone who can do this for us, but people who have the skills to turn something into an e-book, I'm not sure what it takes, but if that can be done, we'd like to know how and have that on our website too. So we're trying to get everything available to everybody for free, as much as we can. Oh, and that reminds me, I really need to thank people who have contributed. It's such a help to us, and we're so grateful for people who send in their contributions. And I also want to thank people again. There were so many people who wrote to me after my brother passed, and I didn't get a chance to thank everyone for their beautiful emails and notes. So I just want to thank people again for that. It was very touching to me how much people understood and how much they felt about how close I was to my brother and when I went to visit him and so on. And people were really, really feeling it, and paying attention. And it just made me feel like there were so many folks with me there, it was very heartwarming. So thank you, everybody. And all of you who have written to tell us about your healing experiences, we love to hear that. So we're going to also have a page for the testimonials for people who've sent in their emails. We've posted some of them on Facebook. But it's so gratifying for us to hear and to know how people are really taking this information so seriously and really working with it, and how effective it's been. It's just remarkable, the kinds of healings people are telling us about.
Well,
so
Kathryn,
keep it up,
if you'll
everybody.
let me, I wanted to. I have a fun one to share. Is this a good time to put that in?
Yes, it is.
Oh my gosh! If I could, I'm just going to paraphrase because she wrote the funnest personal message she just sent a private message. I think she didn't want to post it on the main page. She's from another country, and I think she was self-conscious about her English, which she doesn't have to be at all. It's amazing. But she listened to the call and started discussing it with her husband, who is the cook of the family. And he doesn't listen to the calls, but he enjoys her paraphrasing for him. So he's up to date. And she shared with him the information from the first call, and he said, okay, I'm going to do some research. So he goes online, and he does all his own research. And he comes back to the family in a meeting, calls a meeting, and says, all right, gang, our whole diet is going to change right now. And he decided to do all the shopping differently, start all new recipes, and change the family diet. And she said she has been praying for this for so long, but since he was the cook, it was only so much she could do except just share her information. So she said the whole family is on board, including the kids, and they are starting a new chapter in their lives. And it was such a fun story of families coming together with this information and making changes. So I wanted to celebrate her story and celebrate it for everyone who are doing that out there.
Oh, wonderful. Did she give us her name to, give a congratulations to her, or would she rather be anonymous?
No, I don't.
First name? Can we?
Yeah, I don't think she'll mind that at all. I've got this. Her name is Luz Angela. Luzangela. Luz Angela Korea is her name.
Wonderful. So
yes.
Thank you, Luz Angela, for that nice story. And we'd like to hear if there are any changes in health and energy and how people are feeling in the family and so on. That's a nice story. A nice beginning. So, yeah, we love to hear about these things. So let's do a little information. Our websites, our Facebook page, and so on. I'll start with our website is whoneedslight.org, and there you will find all of the archives of the messages that go back now for a couple of years. There are hundreds of them there. One group of messages is the When God Pinched My Toe, which is going to be a book. All the messages from the one who called, when we began, the one who called himself Yahweh and then revealed he was Father God, and now is saying, just call me Ra. So there's that group, and then there are many, many other messages recently from all the masters. And for a while they were going, because I said I would agree to take a message every day until the RV. And so they've been taking turns. Lots of different masters have come through, and then recently a number of messages from Ra, and today Sananda, of course, to encourage people to come to this call and to listen carefully and be ready to change everything in your life. So he's really on it with the nutrition and encouraging everyone. So we've talked a little bit in past calls about how important your own approach, your own attitude toward your body is in this process of healing. And now we're bringing it around full circle. Not only do you have to love your body and know that when you send loving, healing energy to your body, it can heal. But if you're not giving it loving, healing nutrition, then you're not doing the whole job. And you can't expect your body to really heal. So people sometimes, when they hear Meg's program, which was pretty, I guess a lot of people would say extreme compared to what they've heard before, you didn't just say cut out sugar. You said you gave us the whole list of the things that produce sugar in your body, which are just as toxic, like white bread and pasta and so on. Maybe you can just give us a tiny little thumbnail today. What do you think, Meg?
Sure, absolutely.
And then we'll give people the references, our Facebook pages, and so on. I'll let you do that.
Okay. My own healing journey in my 30s, when I attempted vegetarianism for the first time, was I just chose not to eat meat. And I thought everything else was on the menu. And I did the research about, more healthier carbs like quinoa, organic brown rice. But I did not know enough about what foods turned into glucose in my digestive tract to understand that I was eating an inordinate amount of carbohydrates that turned into sugar. And I started developing health problems. So I had to understand the difference between fat, proteins, vegetables, starches, and then all other foods, including fruit. And I just had to figure out what the story was. So food really can break down into 3 or 4 categories, but some, of course, overlap. But basically things that turn into amino acids or proteins, and fats, which turn into fatty acids, which we need for good cell health. And then pretty much everything else is carbohydrates, including vegetables are carbohydrates because they break down into glucose and fiber and other vitamins and minerals. But there are some things in our food groups which have turned into almost pure glucose into our system. And those are usually grains and, of course, anything with over-the-counter table sugar in them or any other sweetener, even honey and agave nectar, and starchy vegetables or root vegetables, which are the potatoes, sweet potatoes, yams, and then there's levels within them. So it's not really a story about not eating carbohydrates because, of course, we have to have glucose in our system. Our body runs, it's one of the fuels our body runs on in addition to fat and protein. But knowing what I talked about and what's listed on the nutrition recap is how to understand within the carbohydrate family which ones are better and worse for you and which ones fuel the body's engine and brain and cellular health and which ones start causing an overload of glucose and our cells can't handle it and they start compensating for the large amount of glucose and start trying to help you out. But the problem is they look like symptoms, which is hypoglycemia, insulin resistance, headaches, weight gain, lethargy, sleeping problems, hormone problems. So all of these are the body's doing the best it can with what we're feeding it in order to balance you. So what I had to understand and encourage people is our bodies are trying their best they can to help us, even though the symptoms they're producing as a red flag going, hello, please do something different. This is really causing me stress, and the only way I can talk to you is with this signal. So it looks like a symptom, but in fact, it's your loving cells going, oh, please listen to me and find out what's causing me this distress and try to
And that's what diabetes is.
That's what diabetes is and all the stages leading up to diabetes. The hypoglycemia, the people that carry around food in their pocketbooks because if they go 2 hours without food, they get dizzy. That's a problem. Or insulin resistance, and then prediabetes, and then diabetes, right? All of these are your body really trying to get your attention to make a change. And so if we just take medicine to shut up the symptom, we lose the connection. We break the conversation between ourselves and it's really just all us, but between ourselves and our brain on trying to figure out what the problem is. And that's my only concern.
That's a good way to put it.
It's not all medicine is not good for us. There's some medicines that are, of course, vital and essential. But usually only after we go through everything else natural, go through our foods, go through our water, go through our stress life, go through our environment, look at the toxic chemicals that we're using as cleaners and toothpaste and shampoos. When we go through all of that and eliminate those in harmony with Mother Nature, then if it doesn't work, then seek out support with all your team, your chiropractors, your acupuncturists, your nutritionists, your Western medicine. Build a great team together. But if we go first to a pill or surgery to address it, we're losing the conversation. We're just telling the body to shut up. I don't want to hear you talking. Stop communicating to me, and I'm going to shut you up. And what a disservice that does to what we now know is the group consciousness that exists in cellular consciousness and losing the chance to communicate with ourselves. So my health, returning to health, and my then sharing this with others, which is just what we do. We go through crisis and we learn and we share. That's what we all do. And this was just, my sharing. And so you can find the list of which carbohydrates really fuel your body and at what quantities are good, and which starches you can still have but in moderation, and which ones you should really only have very rarely. And I felt, oh my gosh, I felt so much better. It was within 2 weeks. I was sleeping better. My headaches were gone. My energy was higher. I lost over 30 pounds over the process of this cycle, and then became a more conscious vegetarian, became an intelligent vegetarian, and could make choices. And So this is a fun group to work with because we're almost all vegetarian on the call or working that way or vegan. And I don't want anybody making the same mistake I did. Let's just jump that whole timeline. Let's call it the Meg timeline, and we're jumping it.
Okay.
So I think it's wonderful.
Now let me reiterate what you didn't say this time, and that was that you became a vegetarian and then even had more health problems, right? So this is when you learned all this more complete information that you're giving us now.
It was. I was sick as a vegetarian and became insulin resistant because I substituted carbohydrates for meat, and I mainly went to grains. And also just thought not eating meat was enough. Both my parents died of cancer, and at that time you couldn't find grass-fed meat and hormone-free and steroid-free chicken, so I just thought that was it. And it was a step, but it definitely wasn't the whole trip. So, and I think we all experience that. We make the decision based on what we know at the time, and then we keep learning. And I just got sick and listened to my body and found an acupuncturist and nutritionist and kept learning. And, you know, and what, if I hadn't have found the people that helped me, oh my gosh, I mean, I'm just passing on their information plus what I've learned. So I also give credit up the line to people that did this work even before me and are making this available. So just a fun group to work with that if we can just, you know, understand the difference between the carbohydrate families and oh, fancy me, vegetarians are actually supposed to eat vegetables. I mean, this is how silly I was. And it was like, I just thought it was no meat. I just chopped the whole word off, so I had to laugh when I learned what I did. So I, you know, now eat 70% vegetables, and it's better.
Right, those green things.
It's a fun path. I know it. Fancy that. But we have to laugh, right? We have to laugh through it. But yeah, so if I can shorten anybody's path on that, then I'm just thrilled. So I'm so grateful for the platform, Kathryn and Sananda both. It's just a joy to share. Thank you.
Well, yes, thank you. And especially Meg has shown her ability in this regard. Each time we do a call, she gives us a little synopsis after it's finished, and it's always right to the point and the most wonderful topics that came up. And she's done this the same way with this nutrition information that she's given us. She's boiled it down to the most succinct, the most useful information. So, as you said last week, I think, Meg, it's not the whole story, but it's a really good beginning for people who want to understand more in depth how to be a vegetarian and conquer this glucose problem that is really at the root of all the diseases.
Pretty much. Between that and toxins. It's a combination.
Of course.
Yeah.
Black lung wouldn't be a glucose problem, but
right. Between that and toxins, and I found that, you know, and maybe we'll pick a date to talk about cleanses and detoxes, because I think when you 1-2 punch the body with awesome nutrition, organically grown, locally grown as much as you can, which is becoming more and more available everywhere now. I even had a guy walk into my office yesterday and said, I'm starting my own CSA, which is Community Service Acupuncture. I'm going to home deliver all these organic vegetables to whoever wants it and spread the word. I'm like, are you kidding me? Yes, this is what we're calling forward now. Just walk off the street. Yes. So it's really becoming available. And when we clean out what we've done up to this point and put new stuff in, oh my gosh, I should just write the testimonials of what I've seen my patients go through with blood work, proven before and after, that they can take back to their doctor and say, I've done a cleanse, I'm eating well, take me off all of these medicines, I'm feeling great. And they don't have anything to say. And this is the way we educate our Western medical doctors. They see this. They're like, what are you doing? Oh, my gosh. And they start referring to everybody out there who has this information, and we start collaborating and working together as opposed to this us-them thing, which is not healthy for our patients to feel torn. They can feel like we're on the team. So, yeah, that's a
terrific.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, so we talked about possibly addressing autoimmune diseases next time.
Oh, that would be terrific.
Are you? Yeah, are you ready for that?
I'm happy. It's of course it's a broken record. It's part of the same thing. But you know, Kathryn, I remember one time I was very moved by your presentation. One time was a caller who had an autoimmune disorder, and you helped her connect to the psychological piece of autoimmune, and I was just really enriched and added that to my understanding with the nutrition. So that would be fun to do that together.
Okay, good. We'll do that. So the psychological and the nutritional roots of autoimmune diseases. That'll be next time.
Good.
All right. So I have to get my my list. We have a number of people today who would like to be mentioned on the call when we go to the Arcturian ship. So let me get my list. And these are people who've asked for healings for particular reasons. And they've written to Gabriella. So if you send your request to Gabriella at healingforascension.com, then she types it up for me and prints it out so that I have the list of people who've asked for special requests. Now, I'm going to try to go through these fairly quickly because we have more than ever today. But they cover a wide range, so it helps for others to sort of identify with the people who are asking for healing and to join in. We have a lot of healers on the call, and they come with us to the Arcturian ships. So here's the first one we have that I think is you might have something to suggest about this. This is for his wife, Benedita. Thomas is asking for help. She was born in Brazil, and in the first year of life, she was infected by Chagas sickness, which is a tropical illness contracted through the bite of an insect. And it caused deformation of her intestine and huge problems. And it was worst at age 29. They got married, and she had intestinal surgery where her the deformed part of her intestine was removed. But she continued to have great difficulties until today. So the functioning of her heart was also seriously affected, and she had a pacemaker put in. So there are all kinds of problems that came with this original disease. So I don't know. Let's see. She had another problem with her uterus with a tumor, and the second doctor practices alternative medicine and decided not to have the surgery. So she seems okay, but she really, it sounds like she has a whole range of things. So they're focusing on nutrition and managing very well because they have deep faith, but let's send them both a big blast of love. it sounds as though she may have eliminated the parasite problem, but she could definitely use a big blast of healing to help her with all these complications that came from it. So they're in Brazil. And Daryl for his friend Rebecca and her child Jessica. She's a single mom with 4 children, and she's in Calgary. And her daughter is in a wheelchair and has a hole in her heart. So Jessica needs to be healed from the hole in her heart. Rebecca's husband Rebecca's a nurse, and she lost her job because she was taking time off to help her daughter. So she needs all kinds of good energy and healing. So let's send it to Rebecca and her daughter Jessica. Daryl is saying he's felt much better since his healing last week, and it has almost completely healed his lungs. So hooray, Daryl. Keep up the good work. And here's a request from our friend Eve in Seattle. Robert is very ill, and she's making a request for him. He's had continuous bladder infections, and he's in his 90s, and she's very concerned about him. So let's send love to Eve and her friend Robert to beat these infections and help Robert to heal completely. So here's Julie for her friend Bridget Lamar. She needs to help to heal herself. She has colon cancer, and it has metastasized to her kidney. So, and the pancreas, and she also has a cardiac arrhythmia. She's lost a lot of weight, and she has a fever this week. So probably the fever is trying to beat the diseases that are so rampant in her body. We don't know if she is currently under care, but when I spent time even in this lovely hospice where my brother was, the food was supposed to be very good there. But, of course, every meal they had things with sugar in them, desserts, baked goods, white bread, all kinds of things that turn into sugar, white pasta. And I was just horrified at the food, even though by most standards you would say it was healthy. So anyone who's in a hospital is going to need special food to be brought in. So her friend says she keeps her connected with healing energies to help her. And she doesn't speak English, so her friend is going to attend the call and send her the messages from us. So here's a request by Callie for her brother Patrick. He is dealing with Parkinson's, glaucoma, and neuropathy. His legs are freezing up, so he has a hard time walking. Now, here's something that I bet will really benefit from. Okay, he's made only 67 trips around the sun. We have him on a very clean diet, 6 tablespoons of coconut oil a day, and some other things, which I think you should probably talk to them about, Meg. And so they're really working to do the best alternative healings they can do with him. But, maybe you'd have a few suggestions too. So I'm going to suggest that Kali contact Meg. Okay, here's one from Pamela for her friend Shalini and her son Sean. They are in South Africa. We have more and more people from South Africa. It's delightful. So Shalini is asking for healing for her son. Wait, let's see. It's Shalini who has severe painful neck, shoulder, lower back, joints, and abdomen. She's also, Pamela is also worried that Sean about Sean and his wife. So they're requesting a healing because he's been out of work for 2 years, and the stress is really getting to him. So let's send him a big blast of healing energy and to help him be calm and feel in charge, regardless of what's happening in the environment. All right, here's Mick Heidig for his daughter. Wants us to put his daughter's leg cyst, and Meg is helping him, and his mom's mental state, and his hernia. So the whole family needs healing. So we're going to send a big blast to Mick. Okay, this is 8. Kalia was in a car accident at the end of February and had severe whiplash. She's had chiropractic care. These are people who've really been working hard. Everyone so far is really working hard to pay attention to their nutrition, to try to recover from their illnesses. But Kalia has had what she calls a buffet of prescription medication. She just started physical therapy. Oh, yes, Kalia. And she's dealing with a lot of stress and depression. Well, this is going to make you sick. So start by reading the book, Who Needs Light, and so you will find your way out of the depression, because depression is all about feeling discouraged, hopeless, angry, frustrated, and that will make you ill, even if you didn't have injuries. So she's going to be listening today. Her grandmother, Dora, sent her here.
Okay.
Jackie, are you there? Okay, I think we have another person on the line. I need to mute. Okay, so Jackie, each day I'm getting better. This is from last time. I still have a way to go, but thanks to all of you who participated in last Sunday's call, I have improved a lot. Thank you so much. For at least 2 hours a day, I meditate and use Reiki and will continue to do so. So she says, I don't want to be greedy, but she's had a problem for 7 years and she wants a little help on this. The doctor severed 2 nerves that innervated her abdominal muscles and left her with a large bulge. She expects miracles and intends to see the nerves rejuvenate. So, okay, Jackie, we're sending a big blast of energy to the nerves in your abdomen to try to reconnect and heal them. She's a very skillful healer, so she's using it on herself and with great success. So here's Donald for his cousin Michael. He lives on the East Coast. He has 7 lesions or tumors on his brain. The doctors have told him that he will not live. Well, isn't that helpful? So after the news, he went to a regional hospital where he's having radiation therapy. His hair and his teeth are falling out, and he's very weak, and he's asking to live. Oh, Donald, pass on all this information to Michael that you're getting from us about nutrition, and I'm sure Meg would be happy to give additional support as well to help him recover from the radiation therapy. So here's Grace for herself and her parents. She's come for healing with us on the Arcturian ship with complete faith, and she said, Tonight, my mentor suggested that I send this confirmation email requesting a healing for her hearing and other challenges caused by MS. All right. And also, she's asking for continued healing for Jack and Kathleen, her parents, and her sister, Mercy. Her dad has miraculously survived 11 strokes. Wow. So the whole family needs a big blast of love. And that is to Grace Mercy Payne and her family. So here's Stephanie Carlson. We just have 3 more here. She'd like a healing today. She's had many health problems that have been very depleting. So we can see this, with people who have 10 different symptoms. She's worked with doctors for a long time, which only made her worse. Intestinal permeability, glucose intolerance, and a lot of problems. Autoimmune reactive condition, rashes, extreme weight loss, endocrine imbalances. Well, I think, Stephanie, you probably are a perfect candidate for the kind of things we've been talking about today, because you have just a raft of symptoms, and I bet you they're all related. She has deep spiritual beliefs and personal connections, so she's asking to be healed. And Stephanie, come with us, and we'll go to the Arcturian ships. We'll give you a big boost, but you must change everything about your diet and work on working your way out of anxiety, completely out of depression and the feelings of hopelessness that come with being ill. And you'll get a lot of help today. So let's hope it gives you a big boost to get you started. So here's a request from Pam Muirhead for her best friend's Uncle Jack. He's had prostate cancer. He's cheerful and active and no medical intervention. And he's in pain, and the cancer has spread. So he's wondering about chemotherapy, but she'd like to take him to the healing ships. So by all means, we're going to have a group of cancer patients that are going to go there and get a big blast of healing from Sananda. And here's Carmen Lucero for her mother, Maria. We'll probably have to kind of narrow these down a bit for future calls because we can't spend too much time. But we will use these requests as a way of helping to teach a little bit more about the connection between nutrition, emotions, the way you are in command of your body and your emotions. So Carmen is saying that she is overwhelmed with emotions, some good and some that are challenging. And the family has been difficult to deal with, so she'd like to be asked to be included and to bring her family as well. To reclaim her voice, which has been struggling since just before she took on the job of caretaker for her mother. It is difficult to keep your vibrations high when you have so many responsibilities. And she's dealing with a great deal of negativity. So, Carmen, you're going to need to really put up a pillar of light for yourself to protect yourself from the negativity around you, to regain your voice so that you can ask for what you need. And she says she could use a big blast of love from brothers and sisters, galactic and otherwise, to soothe her aching heart. So Carmen, put up your pillar of light. Come with us to the wonderful Arcturian ships. And we're going to save other requests for next time. Meg, you have one here to address autoimmune disorders, right? On the next call, we'll do that. Okay, so let's go to the Arcturian ships with Sananda. And I think he will have something to say about each of these questions. So we get these requests for a reason. And Sananda has agreed to do it today this way for a reason. So we will find out how he's going to address all of these questions and how we can approach each of these illnesses and maybe all of these illnesses separately and as a group. So let's see now what Sananda has to say. And I'm going to bring him in. So we're all set to everybody get together and take our trip to the healing ship with Sananda. So I'll bring him in now. So Meg, if you want to just take over for a moment, and I'll call in Sananda and see what how he'd like to conduct this healing today.
Thank you, Kathryn. All right, we'll just give you a few minutes to connect with Sananda, and then we welcome. Hi, Sananda. Welcome to your fireside chat.
Oh, hello, dear Meg. Thank you, and I appreciate that. I did say that earlier today in my message, that it delights me that all of you are feeling comfortable approaching me, asking questions, asking for your healings, being very specific and open about what your needs are. And this helps everyone. You know, it's if you can just talk about what the problems are many times, that really helps. And when you find others in the group who can really relate to what you're saying, like our beloved Carmen, who is taking care of her mother and her family by taking that position, how difficult that is for so many of you, especially if you've had a difficult relationship with the parent that you're taking care of. There are so many now who are in that position. It puts you in a position of drawing on your ability to be loving, forgiving, kind, empathic, and to do that with someone who really has sometimes treated you badly. This is quite a dilemma. I'm going to talk about that a little bit as we go around the group in the Arcturian ship, and hopefully to help you ease your mind. And for those of you, you noticed in these requests, there are some people who have so many multiple symptoms, various diseases, all in the same unhealthy person, feeling so bad and so ill. And then the help that they get from their doctors is so impersonal, often because the doctors are overworked and don't have time to really talk to them. So they go by their chart of statistics, you know, if somebody has this symptom, most likely this medicine will help, and they give you the prescription and away you go. And it leaves everyone feeling sad and not very well cared for, because even the nicest doctors, even the most well-intentioned medical doctors, cannot spend the time that's needed to really talk to their patients. The way the insurance companies set it up, it's just not even possible. So this is why it's such a blessing to have alternative folks who can step forward and fill in where the Western doctors just are not able to. So we're going to talk about all these things. And of course I was listening. I heard every one of the requests. I will address each one of these people personally, and then we will talk about these issues with the group so that no one is going to be left out, and there's no one who won't get information that will be helpful for them. So whether you're a healer, or whether you're someone who's asked to be healed, or whether you consider yourself perfectly healthy, either way, you will find help and support and love, and you will also learn how to help your friends, how to help your family members. It is a time of change. And I have encouraged these conversations about nutrition. I was right there with Meg as she was developing her talk. I have been working with Meg for some time. She may not have been aware that it was I who was there beside her, but she is a marvelous healer. And when we find people who are so clear about their mission and who are so willing to learn and so open, it's a delight for us to send our little helpful ideas that we just drop in to her thinking, and she just simply moves on and integrates it and puts everything together in a beautiful way. And you are all benefiting from our collaboration here, our collaboration with Kathryn, with Meg, with all of you. So think of this as a big treatment, healing session where everyone will take part. Healers, those who need to be healed, we're here for you. And we are in the process learning about group consciousness. This is our real purpose behind these calls, you know, to help you with your ascension. And these factors that we're describing today are so important. Learning to take good care of yourself, lovingly, attentively, learning what's good for your body and insisting on it. Not just changing your diet a bit, but insisting that you do the very best that you possibly can for your body. And taking command of your emotions. It is time, beloved ones, for you to be the masters that you really are. And being a master means you take complete command of your feelings, your thoughts, and your actions. Now, often people get confused because thoughts come first before the feelings. And then you feel like, oh, I just was overcome by this feeling and I don't know where it came from. I'm depressed. Well, dear ones, never allow yourself ever again to say, I am overcome by depression. There is no such thing. First, you thought dark thoughts, thoughts that made you feel hopeless, thoughts that made you feel sad and guilty and despairing. And then you feel depression. Being a master means you take complete control of your thoughts. And when you do that, you will be in complete control of your feelings and your actions. So work with me, work with those around you, and take this policy to your heart, this principle to live by. I will not permit any thought to linger in my mind that has any dark connection, that has any elements of darkness in it. Now, we have to expand our definitions, don't we? Darkness is anger, despair, depression, discouragement, frustration, jealousy, all of it. All of it must be wrapped up in a big box, put a bow on it, put it in the museum. Those are old feelings. They come from old concepts, old ideas about what life should be like, about who you should be, and how you're not who you should be, and so on. All ideas of self-hatred, self-criticism, all those things you call beating up on yourself, all of them must go. And I don't mean you're going to get better at it or you're going to do it less. It must go entirely. And when you are able to do this, beloved ones, you will do it by simply being completely aware every minute of every day. Completely aware and in command of your own thinking. And when your own thinking takes on the tone of love, acceptance, pleasure at being alive, acceptance for yourself, for being here, for being who you are, warts and all, acceptance, you will find comfort, you will find friendship, you will feel the doors open and our energies of love will come pouring through. All those feelings of degrading yourself, disparaging yourself, all of those ideas and feelings have shut the door on your higher self and on all of us, your guides, your angels, all of us who wish to send love to you. Those ideas are the most toxic and the most obstructionist. You are obstructing the love that is coming to you. That is your birthright. So open your hearts, dear ones. Let yourself feel affection, comfort, acceptance, and love for yourself. For your own dear self, who have worked so hard, who have come so far, and who are now ready to do what you would call kick it up a notch. So today we're going to kick it up a notch with the understanding that every single person on this call and every single person who listens to this archive is going to turn over a new leaf. And that leaf is loving yourself with a vow that you will never again look at yourself in the mirror and say, ew, you're not right, you're too fat, you're too ugly, you're too short, you're wrong. No. Never, never again. Know that God loves you. Know that I love you. And do you really think that you're smarter than God? Do you really think you know more about yourself than God does? Don't put yourself in competition with God. You won't win. It makes no sense. You will feel the love pouring down on you. We're going to go now together. Now that you're ready, now that you have opened your channels, we're going to go together inside the great pillar of light where you feel the love pouring down on you like a waterfall. And now, when you accept that you're deserving, you're worthy, you can open your channels and let it pour down on you. Let it wash over you. Let it heal and comfort you. And there will never, never again be a day in which you feel despair. There is no despair in compassion. There is no despair in love. See, breathe it. Join hands. We all go together. And we're going to be lifted up. We'll just float up through the beautiful pillar of light, up toward the Arcturian ship where our beloved friends, the Arcturians, are waiting. They are so helpful and kind. They love working with you. They're here in their ships, parked above the earth, because they want to help. They have been through this. They have worked their way through their own ascension, and they want to help you do the same. And so they have a reason for being here. It is empathy and compassion. They know what it's like. They know what our struggles are here on the planet. And they simply want to help. So feel their love emanating from the ship. It lights up the entire ship. This huge mothership that's parked to help us. Now, as we approach the ship, see the entryway open. It's enormous. There's room for everyone. Come into the entryway, and you'll see the slide. The entrance slides closed, and then the great doorways open into the healing arena. And so come together. Healers, those of you who wish to be healed, here are the Arcturians greeting us in their beautiful, huge arena filled with light. And in a circle, the lovely healing beds where you can move around the circle and take your place. Those of you who wish to can join various groups, the cancer, the people who are asking for healing for cancer, the ones with heart problems, the ones with injuries. You can join together if you like to have a support group, but it doesn't matter. The Arcturians can tell what the problem is, and they'll know immediately what you need and how to help you. So find a place, join us in the group, and the healers, those of you who wish to do so, can take your place around the outside of the circle. I will go into the center of the circle, and I will move around the center. Kathryn will come after me. In her higher self, as Lady Portia, Lady Portia will come after me to help seal in and establish the healing energy that we send to you. And here are Mother and Father God, who also wish to send you blasts of healing energy. And they're going to also help with the ones who have asked to send healing to far places around the globe. We've all been listening. There are many here who want to help. Saint Germain is here, and Archangel Raphael and Michael. All the archangels are wonderful healers, as the masters are as well. Some are really especially interested in this group, and if you have angels or masters that you feel a special connection with, by all means, call them in. They'll be happy to come and help. And so all of us will be working together in our group consciousness, where we share information, we share energies. We know what's needed because each of us can see, feel, hear, and know what is required. I will come to each person to stand by their head, put my hands beside your head, and we will go around the group so that each person can feel my presence, can feel the love that I send, the love that I feel for each one of you. And after I come to you, you'll feel Lady Portia bring her gentle, deep feeling to help seal in, to help integrate the love that we send to you. Because sending you a big blast of loving energy is a wonderful thing. It feels fabulous when you experience it. But we want you to keep it. We want you to integrate it so that after you raise up from this healing couch and you go back to your homes, we want you to take it with you, to keep feeling it, to know how to raise your vibration and provide this kind of healing for yourselves. We'll be with you always. We don't abandon you after you leave the ship and go back to your homes. Call on us. We do linger and wait for you to ask for help, but we will not impose anything. So we tell you, ask. Ask for our help. We will gladly come. Now we're going around. This time I began because we had several people who have tumors or cancer problems, so we're beginning with that group. And then we're going to work our way around. And I'm going to remind you with each different disease or illness that there are always components, always a connection to nutrition, to what has been entering your body. Of course, toxins and dangerous substances in your environment can cause illness, and it takes tremendous power, personal dedication, and determination and conviction to flush these diseases out of your body. It can be done. That's where the faith comes in. And that's where the vigilance comes in. Once you've begun to feel ill, once something has gone awry in your bodies, you must be completely vigilant that the way you care for your body combines unconditional love and the most excellent nutrition you can possibly provide for your body. Now, I know it's difficult for many of you. You feel that buying organic vegetables is more expensive. I assure you, beloved ones, it is not. Once you begin to treat your body to the improved nutrition and healing properties, you will not have to spend money on doctors. You will eat far less because your body is extracting the nutrients from good food. When you buy cheap food or food that's grown on great farms where the food is sprayed with toxic chemicals to keep away the pests, and then toxic chemicals in the form of fertilizers, artificial fertilizers, the food is filled with poisons. There is no way that is cheaper than eating a small amount of really carefully grown food. And when you find a farmer who loves what he's doing, the food will be filled with love. And you will feel yourself thriving as a result of it. So there are no shortcuts. This is the way life is intended to be. When you genuinely care for someone, you don't neglect them. You wouldn't refuse to feed your children well if you really knew the difference, would you? Now we're asking you to turn the same kind of love and care on yourself. And you will find that you will become an example for others. And that example will spread. You will find other people being more thoughtful about what they eat, about what they say, about how they treat one another. It's all one of a piece, isn't it? It is the care and love that you can focus on others, to be of service to others, but that you must first feel toward yourself. Now I'm going to draw a line in the sand here. Picture yourself. I'm standing on one side of this line, and you're all standing on the other side. Now, imagine. You can remain in your healing bed at the same time. You can be in 5 or 6 different places at once. This is a good practice for that. Picture us all, a line in the sand. Now, I want all those who can answer this question with a yes to step forward. Have you, in the last 24 hours, been absolutely, unconditionally loving toward yourself? Have you provided for yourself excellent nutrition and an attitude of affection and kindness every moment for 24 hours? Can you say yes to that? And if you can, step over the line and come to stand by my side. I want all of you on my team because we are going to change the world. Now, those of you who did a pretty good job, who only slipped once or twice and were aware of it, who were acknowledging to yourselves, okay, I heard myself say that insult about how stupid I am, or about how clumsy I am, or why did I do that, or what's wrong with me. Oops, I felt it. I heard that. Okay, I ate something that was really not good for me, but I'm aware of it, and it didn't feel so good, so I'm not going to do it again. All of you, step forward. Come stand by my side. You are the ones who are aware, and this is the greatest leap. This is the greatest step in the direction of changing yourself and changing your world. For when you change yourself, of course you change the world around you. You're probably already feeling that, because this awareness, this vitality, this ability to see the truth is growing in you. And the more you do this, the better it feels. Now, the rest of you. All right, so you compromised yourself. You cut some corners. You knew you probably shouldn't, but you weren't as aware as you are now. You weren't as convinced as you are now. You've learned something in the last 24 hours, in the last 3 weeks, in the last year. You're growing. We embrace you. Come, step over the line. Let us enfold you in our love. Let us stand beside you. Let us help you. Let yourself feel the love that we send to you. Let us help you to grow. Let us help you to be strong in your convictions. Join with us. Feel the support of this group of loving, smart, strong folks who are there to help each other. You've dedicated yourselves often. Oh, I hear. There we go. That was just a little interference on the line. I'm learning how to work these things in conjunction with Kathryn, so we don't even have to miss a beat. So now, let us go back in our minds to the Arcturian ship and know that you just experienced something that is an example of multidimensionality. Our first step was to go to the Arcturian ship. Our second step was to go to the line in the sand and feel each other joining in this great group consciousness hug. Now take that feeling back with you to the Arcturian ship, to our circle. And here I am working my way around the circle 3/4 of the way. You see, I'm used to being in many places at once. It's not as hard as you think. You actually do it all the time. You do it in your dreams. You do it in your loving relationships. Those of you who are really intuitive and aware, think of someone you really love, someone who's close to you, children especially. You know that you feel a kind of umbilical cord to that person, the golden thread that connects you, your consciousness, one with the other. You know when that person is all right. You know if they're in trouble. You can feel it. That is multidimensional. It is a kind of group consciousness. And so we're expanding that. We're expanding it to include all those on this call, everyone in the healing arena. We can feel the presence of others. We know the large group of us here are all focused and connected because our intention is to help heal the people who have asked for our help. And so we rejoice in this connection, in this ability to feel one another. Your heart and my heart. All the hearts of all of those here. Feel it. It's like a great web. Everyone connected to every other one. What a thrilling experience it is. What a joy it is to be in your presence, to connect with you, all of you, in this beautiful way. It is what I live for. It is what I hope to teach you, because we know in the higher dimensions how exhilarating, how thrilling, how exciting it is to be a part of something so wonderful. It is what I came to Earth to experience and to teach. Those I was close to, you now call them the apostles. We didn't call ourselves by those kinds of names then. My beloved family, my wife, my siblings, my parents, and my dear friends, my children, all of us in that group who were so close were one. We were of one group consciousness. And it was what made it all worthwhile. You can feel that now, can't you? All of you have been connected to me in one way or another. over thousands of years, we know each other. We know each other's energy. We know the love we've felt through many lifetimes. I feel that you're touched by my words. And I am touched that you receive me with love. You see, I'm grateful to be here with you. I'm grateful for this opportunity to feel so close, to be of service, to see you learning and healing. It is a delight for me to see you getting well, to see you stand up from your bed and say, I am going to heal. I stand by Sananda. I am here. I am with you. I love you. Nothing can defeat us. Nothing is greater than the love we feel, which is of the light. Nothing can be greater than that. There is no disease, no illness, no war, no darkness that can penetrate this great love that we feel. And you can also feel the love that comes from Creator, that is pouring down in this beautiful pillar of light, in this beautiful healing ship. All of us enveloped in the great love of Creator. We are here to celebrate that. We're here on this planet. When we come in a body, we're here to celebrate that. We're here to enjoy the gift that is life. And so, I have gone all the way around the circle. I have sent each of you, individually and together, my deepest love. Feel it coursing through your veins, and seal it with the vow in your heart that you will continue to love yourself as I love you. Promise that. Promise it in every cell in your body that you will give yourself pure love, unconditional, unending love, as Creator does, and as I do. Breathe it into every cell in your body, into every little heart, into every cell, and feel the cells in your body celebrate with joy and with health. Love and good health are the same thing, you know. They nourish one another. You cannot be healthy without love. You cannot have love without the feeling of joy of being alive. That's what we mean by good health. And now let us join together again. Come up from your beds. stretch. Hug your neighbor. Feel the warmth and the friendship and the great love for one another that we've shared here today. Keep it in your heart always. And now all of us, Mother, Father, God, all the angels, all the masters, all the healers, all those who have come to be healed today, join with us, and together we will send a huge blast of love from our hearts to the planet, to all beings, all consciousness, including Mother Terra herself. We send a huge blast of love to the planet and right to the center to activate and acknowledge and send love to the energy that is pure love for every being on earth. I'll count downward from 3 to 1, and we'll send it another big blast together. 3, 2, 1. Send it. There, it's like lightning. It explodes all across the planet. Look how it lights up. So many are feeling it now. They don't know what they're feeling, but we do. Now let us take hands. Let us go together. I didn't mention the animals this time and taking your pets and so on to the healing rooms for the animals, but those of you who wish to can always do that. And those of you who brought your pets along, collect them now, and we're all going to go back to the beautiful pillar of light. Now, I don't mean to imply that we ever left it. Make sure that when you go home, when you float back down to the place where you started, that you remain inside our beautiful pillar of light, which protects you and nourishes you and will sustain you always, because it is your direct connection to Creator and to us. And no darkness can interfere with you as long as you stay in your pillar of light and as long as you generate light. It makes it easier to remember that you have made the promise to me and to yourselves. You will never again disparage yourself, say cruel or abusive things to yourself. You will care for yourself the way a master cares. Now, big breaths, filled with light, filled with love, and feel every cell in your body humming. That is the way you're supposed to feel. That is what being a human being is supposed to be like. It's a mixture of joy, excitement, pleasure, strength, commitment, enthusiasm, and love for one another. Father God often begins his greetings or his closing salutations with harmony, peace, joy, and laughter. You feel the harmony, don't you? That is what we mean by group consciousness. That wonderful harmony that you feel when all minds are focused together with the intention to heal. What a glorious thing it is. I feel richer for it, don't you? I always feel rich when I leave these calls. My heart is filled to overflowing with love for all of you. And I feel the love returned. There's nothing like it, is there? Now, here we are back to where we started. I just acknowledged Kathryn. She just felt my presence, and she's back as well. You see, we can do this. We can be in intimate contact with one another and also be going through the day. And so this is what we mean by group consciousness, and also what we mean by multidimensional experience. So hold this close in your heart, dear ones, as I do. And know that we will be back together again this coming week, a week from now on Sunday, as we do every week, to experience this pleasure together. And it does become more and more intense, more wonderful every week, doesn't it? As I feel your vibrations rising, you're participating wholeheartedly, so many of you. It is truly a wonderful thing. And those who listen to the archives will feel it as well, because our feeling of group consciousness remains. We are together. And now, I bid you farewell until next week. I am your Sananda.
Thank you, Sananda.
Hi.
That was beautiful. Hi, Kathryn.
Oh, it was wonderful.
Really wonderful.
I love Sananda.
I am also filled with gratitude for you, Kathryn. As I sit here listening to Sananda's words, this would only be possible without the work, personal work, and the professional work that you've done over your entire lifetime. And I know I speak for this entire group. It just brings me to tears sometimes. Thank you, Kathryn, from the bottom of our hearts, for everything we know that you did and everything we don't know that you experienced that allows you to be here now and bring the voices of our masters and our higher selves to us. We could not be here without you, and I am so grateful for your presence and your ability to do this with us and for us, and join us with this group consciousness that means the world to all of us. Thank you so much.
Oh my, thank you. That's very sweet of you. I feel so fortunate and blessed to be able to do this work. I feel like the luckiest person on earth. I'm so glad I can do this. And it makes it all worthwhile for me. Yeah, sure, it was hard work along the way, but every bit of it is just so worth it. Years ago in a channeling session, the one that I now know was Father God, said to me, fulfillment is when you use all of yourself, everything you know, everything you've learned, everything you are, to be of service to others. That is fulfillment. And at the time I thought, oh my goodness, how could that possibly be? That you could use everything you know and everything you've experienced and every part of yourself to be of service to others. And I thank you so much, Meg, for that beautiful gift you just gave me. You described to me what Father God once offered as a promise. If you continue on this path, you'll find it. And I know there's more to come. I know there's more to learn. And there are more exciting things to do every week. But it really does come true. I have been given the gift of being able to use everything I've learned and everything I know. And they're constantly giving me more. So I cannot thank God and the masters who work with me and you, Meg, and Gabriella and Noev and the whole group we had here and all the workshops, the beautiful people who've come and have touched me so and have helped me to keep doing this work. I'm just so grateful. Thank you all. And I have a wonderful song for us to end the call with today. It's going to be so perfect for what we've just talked about. What were you going to say, Meg?
Well, I wanted to also thank Sananda for putting a challenge before me that I knew I could do even better. And this awareness that Sananda has challenged us to join him in is not just closer, not just do better, but what I heard today was you are blocking our love. You are blocking our healing. You are blocking the awareness of who you truly are when you utter one word or think one thought that is not in alignment with self-love. And I don't think it gets much clearer than that. We're not just beating up ourselves.
That's pretty definitive, isn't it?
Yes. We are also depriving them of the chance to be in unity and in consciousness fully with us. And that was very clear. So for Sananda and all of them and our higher selves, we want to do nothing more than dip us in yummy love all the time. Let's just get out of their way and make a contract to just be the sweetest, most divine, loving things in our own corner. And I am ready to get on that line, Sananda, and I am ready. And thank you for the awareness that your words brought for even how I can jump further over that line. So.
Oh, thank you. That was wonderful. Yes. It is the bottom line, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. To everything.
It's so clear. Well, I hope that others will hear this message as well, and I think it's important for us to maybe make a note about this, connected with, like a little synopsis connected with the show today, because I don't think it could be any clearer. And when people go to look for this, I want them to know where the show is and how to find it. So I'll figure out how to do that. So, well, that was just a wonderful, remarkable, loving time. And I think it's time for us to close the show.
And you have a special song tonight, I hear.
I have a special song. I've played it before, but this one just seems to be so appropriate for today. And here is, let's see, I can't remember her name. This is the beautiful little 6-year-old. I think it's, well, I'm not going to say her name wrong. You can find it. She's the lovely little girl who's 6 years old, and this is her song. Oh, sorry.
When I am down and oh my soul so weary, when trouble comes and my heart burdens me, then I am near and waiting in a silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up to I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can
So long, everyone. Till Wednesday.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye, Meg.
Bye, Kathryn.